Breckenridge Bourbon's coming out of Breckenridge, Colorado. Considered to be the highest elevation of distillery in the world. Amazing water source, which is why the distillery chose to go to Breckenridge. So really good richness, good spice, good mid-palate characteristics, and just an absolutely delicious base spirit in which Melanie can build cocktail on top of.
It's called the Little Johnny. I took the Breckenridge Bourbon. I added some fresh grapefruit zest, some fresh lemon juice, and a snap liqueur. Kind of reminds me of Christmas a little bit, gives a little bit of spice, goes along well with the high rye mash bill. And I made it into a nice little martini. And there it is.
Fortaleza means fortitude. My great-grandfather, call that tatarabuelo, arrived to the town of Tequila in the 1850s, 16-year-old boy. And in 1873, he started his brand, which was the Sauza brand. Unfortunately, my grandfather sold it. We kept the land, though, in a small distillery, and we started the distillery back up. It was a mothballed distillery, and it was really just a museum. In 2002, we started it back up. We're a very tiny production. We produce about 2,500 liters a week on a good week, so it's qualifies as micro, almost hobby size.
What I loved about it most is that the agave spirit comes through. And I think that it's an easy thing with tequila spirits is to just oversweeten them and oversaturate them with other things and not have the agave come through. And this is really so agave forward and just really captures all the beauty of what Fortaleza is about. Russian Standard was meant to be the standard for all vodkas coming out of Russia. Utilizing winter wheat, which is absolutely fantastic for creating a vodka. It leaves a general rich texture, but it's fantastic to elevate cocktail in terms of general flavor profile and general consistency.
So what we did today is we overnight naturally infused ground snow peas into Russian Standard vodka. The other ingredients here are just fresh lime juice, a little bit of rhubarb bitters, and honey. Gonna shake this together. We got nice large block ice, gonna break down some of that hard, heavy acidity. Got some mint on top. So across the board, little earthy, herbaceous tones from the peas, a touch of tart bitterness from the rhubarb, and then just a little bit of mint to kind of bring it all together. Refreshing, seasonal, delicious. Cheers.
The idea of the Black Barrel was to taking that pot still distillate, aging it in ex-bourbon cask, and then combining that with their column distillation product for the Mount Gay Black Barrel. It just adds a lot more depth of character and a lot more mixability for the mixologist.
So this is a daiquiri-inspired cocktail. Black Barrel rum is aged in charred bourbon barrels, giving it a nice kind of spiced and vanilla notes to the rum and a little rounder, fuller bodied. Pairing that with some Morinquina, which is a French aperitif wine, lending it some cherry notes, and a homemade peppercorn and cardamom syrup, and a little bit of lemon juice. It is such a full-bodied rum. It is a nice substitute for whiskey cocktails. I've been substituting it for Manhattans, Old Fashions, any kind of your old classic whiskey cocktails. The Black Barrel rum lends beautifully to it.
It's going back to bottled and bond. So the general idea is that the grains were harvested in from the same year, aged a minimum of 4 years, and bottled at 100 proof. It really creates a nice niche or a nice separation to have a 100 proof product, because that additional alcohol, when you start going through dilution with ice or adding different mixers in there, it just really creates a nice richness and overall balance.
Today we're going to make a spin-off of Little Italy with the E.H. Taylor rye. It's a beautiful 100 proof rye, really sweet on the start, and then kind of gives you that rye spice that everybody loves.
Anthony didn't go over the top with it, just used a small little modifier with an aromatized wine, dried apricots in there, and it was just absolutely delicious.
There you go.
Fords is kind of unique right now in the craft spirits world, and it focuses on juniper. Imagine that, gin and juniper, right? We steep our botanicals for 15 hours so that we have an incredibly rich oil content. And that oil content basically gives it ball. So when you stir it, you're not diluting it.
Gins are meant to be mixed. But there is different degrees of mixability within gins, you know, and our gin was designed to be kind of a jack of all trades. Bartenders asked us to give them a flavor profile that works both well with lemon and lime juice. So we had 2 years of back and forth with formulas to ensure that our gin really does what the bartenders asked us to do.
I have a little house-made syrup that's going to have a little jasmine and ginger in there. And then we're going to add just some fresh blood orange juice to it. Gives it a nice color, a lot of vitamin C in this drink, which is great. So I wanted the gin definitely to come out in this cocktail. I didn't want to have the other ingredients overpower the nice, delicate flavor of the forage here. So there you are, the seventh sign.
This is a really interesting drink. It has this tannins from blood oranges, nice jasmine syrup that dries things out and accentuates our jasmine in words. And then instead of adding tonic to sweeten it up, he actually added club soda, which is so simple and was a nice touch. I really liked it.
Monkey Shoulder is a brilliant blend of 3 different Speysides. We've got Glenfiddich, Balvenie, and Kilvaney being combined to make this a single malt or a triple malt blend. Beautiful to build cocktail on and just absolutely delicious on its own.
My cocktail today is the Monkey Butler. We have a blend of Monkey Shoulder, a touch of Cardamaro, and then finishing with the Tempest Fusion bitters. The way the cocktail is going to roll out is you're going to get a nice presence from the Monkey Shoulder itself, a touch of the sweet Cardamaro, and then into the long finish of the Tempest Fusion bitters, or wormwood-based bitters.
With the Del Maguey Vida, just a fantastic expression of mezcal, using 100% espadín as the agave source. Really good light smoky characters to it, absolutely just delicious spirit.
Mezcal as a category is blowing up, and it really is because of Ron Cooper. And it's because of Vida. We knew that if Ron could find a way to create a mezcal without adding water that was just a little softer and more accessible and a little more affordable, that we could bring more people into the fold through the cocktails, through the mixologist.
And really just easy for somebody just coming into the mezcal category can absolutely enjoy it.
It's not the entry level, it's the gateway drug. It's the one that says, I can do this. It's soft enough, I still get all the complexity, I get the smoke, I get everything. But now let me taste the others.
With mezcal in general, sometimes in cocktail, you're just left with the smokiness from the mezcal, but you don't get the sweetness and the character of the agave to shine through. And Kaylee did a brilliant job of still capturing the agave sweetness and the true agave character, and then also having those smoke notes to pull it all the way across.
I tasted the cocktail and I was absolutely blown away. It's impeccably balanced. The mezcal shows through. The citrus is just right on line. The heat is there. And just when you think it's going to overtake, it just settles right in like it should into the palate. It's really well done.
The idea of Lexington bourbon was just to create this absolutely delicious, lighter style of bourbon. The bourbon itself is relatively sweet on the front palate, good rye component and really good richness of texture, average of 6-year age on the bottle. Really something that has that balance where the consumer can try it neat, have it with a couple ice cubes, or has the versatility to jump into cocktail. Super bright, super refreshing. It just had a really nice long finish. Really well executed with the Lexington bourbon. Absolutely new product from Cutty Sark. It's the original recipe that Cutty Sark used back in the 1920s. Really complex. Oftentimes people don't give blended enough credit for being able to hold up and be powerful, and this one definitely at 100 proof has a lot of power, a lot of guts, and it's just a really, really brilliant little product. I thought it was really good. My gosh, it's got this pineapple, especially get it in the forefront and right in the palate. But the finish was all this just delicious black pepper and this really pretty layering aspect on the palate, almost like really fine tannin would be in a great glass of Cabernet.